Hello dear students, welcome in this online session of 8th standard. I hope you are fit and fine and you are doing well at your home. So today in this fresh morning we are going to take one chapter which is actually depending upon your second semester's textbook of SS 8th standard, and the chapter name already you can see on the screen, that is Nationalism in India. Now this chapter is actually chapter number 3rd. As you can see, I am scrolling down the image. This chapter will give you the review and the detail also of the nationalism in India since from 1857 revolt till the nationalism when we got our freedom, that is 1947. So the first thing which you need to ask yourself, what is freedom according to you, and how do you believe in freedom? Is the freedom which you are living your life is important, or it is more than important that you should obey all the rules and regulations of the Constitution of India? Lots of questions are there, less of answers are there, so we need to just move on and focus on this lecture. So this lecture will tell you the basic general and information relating to the concept of the nationalism of India, as I said you already. So I hope you are fit once again, and I hope you are doing well at your home. So let's start the lecture. The first line itself says that whenever the national feeling of the pride of India is belonging towards our nation, we feel very, very much proud. And we should always feel, because the progress which we made and the sacrifices, everything one has to the nation of India actually needed at the time which already we already gave this kinds of thing. So therefore we can say the factor responsible for the rise of nationalism in India developed notably the revolt of 1857, 1853's revolt, then 1947's revolt, all the kind of revolts and all. So we need to understand the modern concept of the nationalism which oriented in Europe. Now what is the modern concept of the nationalism? See, various factors are responsible for this kinds of resonance, reformation, and we can say some of the people are also involved in that. For example, the American and the French Revolution, unification of Germany, Italy with Germany, etc., etc., played an important role in the propagation of nationalism as well as the unification of Europe also. So the British rule in India helped Indians to gather the knowledge of what is happening around the world, as well as we also came politically together, we also came socially together, religiously together, and also we went to think on the view of economical prospectus too. So these all things which I am trying to make you explain or understand is the basic concept of today's lecture, and also we can say various factors fostering the modern nationalism arose in India. Until unless we are not having problem, we don't find a solution. It means that until unless we were not actually knowing the meaning of freedom, we were not united. And when we came to know the meaning of freedom, we became united. So that is the condition this lesson is all about, telling you the detailed theory. Now see, various factors fostering the modern nationalism arising in India, like we made notably worthily, we can say, like progress in the education, in the systematic development of we can say latest modern technologies, and also we went more apart from the technical theories also. So that is how we can say various factors also made India fostering its national income, then national emergence. Apart from that, we can say military empowerment and technical information. We made almost India to go on the verge of the success, but of how? Only after giving the sacrifices. So this is how we can say it was actually followed by the feeling of nationalism that we came into the united world, and we also stood as the unity. So we will study today about this kinds of various factors, that which factors are responsible to make India united, and also to sacrifice the lots of people's life who were already known as the best national leader of our country. So the first paragraph says that political reasons, that is as I made you understand, the political reasons means, see, since after the World War II, when the Berlin blockade happened, or you can say when the Cuban crisis happened, or you can easily go with the Cold War, one new technology was developed. Not only technology, but technique was developed to handle the people, to handle the country. It was more than a technology, it was a technique. That was political techniques. So we are going to learn about the political reasons and the techniques. Before the British rule, our national anthem, national capital, national country, national states, national people, means almost everywhere, the nations, everything was in the rule of British Empire. After some time, Laterally, it went on our own hand, but after lots of struggle. So the British defeated many of the kings and established direct rule in India, and India was divided into big and small princely states. Under the dominance of British and the uniform administration system, it was implemented that however overall experience of the India was bad, but then also Britishers were not conducive and they were ruling over India. So besides there were many other reasons also that led protest against the Britishers rule, and gradually we can see the protest become more and more prominent. So whenever the role of the Indian people is going more and more prominent, or whenever the role of the Indian people is trying to take all the kinds of decisions in their own hand, it is very necessary to understand that people must be suffering from the problem at the time, then only they came to take these kinds of steps. So gradually the protest became more prominent and widespread, and in India lots of kinds of protest, widespreading of the we can say killing effect, then jealousy, hatred, revenge, these kinds of feelings were among the people. So now comes the economical reason. Say India was financially ruined at the time, it's a common thing. Ruining is not a common thing, but what I'm telling you is a common thing. जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ वो common है कि when the Britishers were there, our economical condition was very poor. And that is how actually the problems like poverty and other kinds of things were common in India at that time due to Britishers' effect only. It was common, but the problem of the people were not common. It was so dangerous. Therefore, we can say England was actually at the top of the power peak, and that's how British took the raw material from the India, England and other finished their manufacturing of the goods also, and they got all the kinds of benefit on the name of India. So that was a condition where we can say the Indian market was under control of England and the Britain too. So the duty of manufacture of goods imported directly from the India to England, or from England it was exported in the other countries also. As a result, we can say Indian goods became more and more expensive when they were coming in India, and somehow India was actually not sustaining itself. So many artisans became unemployment, as well as soon Indian realized that the Britishers' policy is not to prosper India, but on the account of India they are actually playing the policy to prosper the England on the account of Indian economy. So they fostered the feeling of nationalism. Some of the reasons are there which are actually fostering the feeling of nationalism. Same as if we go more further, then we can say transportation and telecommunication was the second thing which emerged in India. See, the railway came in India in 1853. I will say the date literally if I observe here, but orally I am telling you that it was the date of 1853. So I will also show you the date later. So the railway along with telegraph, post, the land, waterways, etc. were actually on the developing mode. Somehow they were also developed by the Indian and the British militaries. Apart from that, we can say economical and political reasons were also related with the turning out of to be a boon and disguise for the Indian people also. It means that whatever the reforms were done in the account of Britishers in India to help the Britishers, laterally help the Indian people only, like bringing of the railway system, telegraph, telephone, okay, and other kinds of services also were actually for the Britishers people to make their communication more strong, to make their transportation more strong, but laterally we benefited and all. So mobility of the intellectuals, artists and business class increased, and that's how they started exchange thoughts also, opinion also, and discrimination of the caste also were removed out here. It means that now we were also getting all the kinds of profit from the materials or from the we can say reforms which was actually bought by the Britishers. So that was a kind of good thing, and that is the kind of thing which we needed to always take out more further. See students, whatever things were done by Britishers were actually one of the thing of a concept which helped literally Indian people only, and that is the lesson this is all about, and we are going to learn also this all about. Apart from that, the touchability, untouchability, as well as you can see the community and the region became lesser due to the increase of communication and the mass, as well as transportation. The national leaders also could communicate their thoughts from one place to another, and the large number of people, leaders, were also building their nationalism on the national level. So that's how this gave a very noticeable discovery, a very noticeable theory related to the concept of Indian economy also, as well as Indian nationalism too here. So the fourth topic says that what about the literature and the education? See, education in English language was paved way from the rise of the Indian nationalism. It was means it was also one of the kind of a boon to our nation that we were learning English so that we can understand okay, what is their plan now, what are they going to plan next year. So that's how most of the literature in the words were also available in the English, and the people of our country learned English language, which was also becoming familiar with the recent trend in the world. Thus we were spreading internally with the ideas, and also democratically we can say liberty, equality, fraternity means brotherhood also we were spreading inside. So from the America war, independence and the French Revolution, people developed self-confidence. From the war of America they observe like war of French and all, and they recognize the power of unity and dreaming about a big bright future for the independent India. It means that now the people are not thinking about their own village, people are not thinking about their own state, people were thinking about the mother nation India. And that was, we can say, various novels, act, stories, poems as well as song also gave most powerful permanent effect over the brain of the freedom fighters as well as the general people also, which were actually written in the regional language. So these were also written in the literature as well as nationality, feeling, devotion, emotion develop in the people. So that's how we can say we all came closer. But that is not enough. See, now I'm showing you the newspapers. Now what is the newspaper of the what is the use of the newspaper? It's very common and simple. Whenever, my dear student, whenever if you are actually planning to do a kind of revolt or any kind of theory, you need to take care of everybody to share your ideas, and also you need to go and understand that how you can make more and more max people, means maximum people to come in the contact of your same idea. In this case, newspapers are playing a very important and vital role in contribution of spreading the national awareness towards India. Now see, in today's example, if I will give that, in today's date, we are having WhatsApp media, Facebook is there, Twitter is there, Google, whatever the medias are there, okay, we can spread our feeling, but in ancient time, nothing was there. So the bringing of newspaper from the Britishers were also one of the boon to the India, and that's how we can say like our newspaper were also one kind of awareness to the people from the Bengal to Mumbai, Chennai to Madras, and citizens as the policies of the British rule awakened nationalism also, and the feeling of heart touching people also started. So that's how we can say contribution of the newspaper was also one of the thing which was connecting maximum people before the revolt, and that is the very important and great thing to hear. So this is how we can say this lesson is making you to understand about the role of the concept related to the nationalism of India. Then next page number will be showing you the detailed theory related to the more nationalism in the detailed form, which will also let you know about the magnificent rich heritage of India. So let me show you the page. It shows that ancient archaeologist Alexander Cunningham and his assistant excavated many of the Indian sites and the ancient civilization also in the Indus Valley civilization. So they discovered many of the archaeological sites also remains and depicting the rich heritage of India. Therefore, Indian archaeologists like Rai Bahadur Das, then Rai Bahadur Dayaram, Sahani Madhav Swarup, Vast Rakhaldas Banerjee and all continued to excavate this kinds of thing more and more, and therefore they also found the majestic civilization of India. So the scholars from the West collaborated in India, and also Indian scholars tried to find out the lots of information related to the cultural heritage of India. So this is how an ancient book of medical science, then astrophysicist, diplomacy about the spirituality were also translated into English language from the Indian Hindi languages of Sanskrit, and also we can say world was knowing that now India is going to emerge as the superpower in the term of culture, manner and civilization. So a detailed research was also done by literally we can say cultural heritage of India, fostering the feeling of pride and nationalism, and this also helped people to come closer. So that's how we can say establishment of the Indian National Congress also came to the startup. It means that the above stated factors and the other regional organization has contributed towards establishment of India and National Congress, Indian National Congress too. So therefore we can say Bengal and British Society started, Bombay Association also association also started, Madras National Sabha was started and the Chennai Madras, Indian Association in Kolkata, then Shravanjani Sabha were also started at Pune. So this all the things were started. Now a person who is playing a very important role in this was Sir A.O. Hume. By the time Sir A.O. Hume retired as a British officer, and he also has realized that the British Empire was not secure empire, and it as it appeared the secure, the Britishers were not secured enough. Therefore, we can say that India was not taken care, and literally it was also a challenge for the India to come out of the Britishers' control. So there were chances to reconnect the revolt similarly of the 1857 failure revolt, and in order to keep the general dissatisfaction of the bay, he thought establishing political organizations too. Sir A.O. Hume means what is happening. See, Sir A.O. Hume said that lastly we saw the revolt of 1857. It was a failure revolt. So we need to learn something from this, because Britishers are actually inside their jolly mood, and this is the time where somehow people can be supporting India also. But how they will support? We need some kinds of conspiracies. We need some kinds of rules and regulations to make them come unite. And therefore he also generally he believed that if the dissatisfaction among the people of India was not taken care, then there will be chance that Britishers needed to go away from India. So in order to keep the general dissatisfaction, he also organized a political organization, or he established a political organization whose aim was to help people and to also get help from the people. So this is how we can say this lecture is making you understand about the detailed theory and the knowledge related to the concept of nationalism. In the same way, Viceroy Lord Dufferin agreed to this idea and supported him. Means Viceroy Dufferin supported Sir A.O. Hume. With the effect of Alan Octavian Hume rules and regulation, he said that this is gonna help Indian people also, as well as it is gonna help the Britishers too here. So Indian National Congress was established in December 1885. So the first session of this National Indian Congress was held at 28th December at we can say you can see the meeting also. You can see the meeting, and the meeting was held actually by the help of Vimas Chandra Banerjee, as well as the other literature writer also, as well as we can say Gokul Das Tejpal. Sanskrit school of the Mumbai area was one of the venue where we can say Gokul Das Tejpal school was targeted as the meeting hall, as well as we can say the Mumbai Vimas Chandra Banerjee started this kinds of meeting when he was as a president there. So 72 representatives from the different states of the India were also represented in this conference. The main leaders were also in the conference, like Dadabhai Nauroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Now here I would like to stop something, because I would like to just make you remember or give you the knowledge also. If you don't know who was Gopal Krishna Gokhale, then you need to understand that Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the mentor and the guide guru of your Mahatma Gandhi, our Mahatma Gandhi. So this is how we can say Dadabhai Nauroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Bahadur Shah, Bahauddin Tayyab ji, then K.T. Telang, Dinisha Vancha, etc. were also actually related with this conspiracies and meeting. And laterly we can say many problems are also discussed in the meeting session nationwide. So now I'm scrolling the page, and you can see how beautifully they are actually sitting. Some are sitting on the ground, some are sitting on the steps and all. So it is the meeting of 1885 revolt or 1885 meeting, which was held at the school of Mumbai. So as if we move more further, we can say that the meeting sessions were held from Kolkata to Chennai. The second meeting held at Kolkata, the president at the time was Dadabhai Nauroji, 1886, just after 1885. So it shows that 1885, 1886, 1887, three meeting sessions were held. And the third meeting at the Chennai, which was also mentioned by Badruddin Tayyabji, which was also held in 1887. Like numbers of members were 607 members. So you can see gradually the numbers are increasing from 200 to 400, from 400 to 600. So it was a good sign where India was progressing, and India was also going on the path of progressment. So here I am actually changing the page, and now you can see that the Indian National Congress 1885 needed to be started. Now, why there was a condition to start the Indian National Congress? See, the Indian National activities, the initial activities of the Indian National Congress were moderate and abide by the Constitution. It was somehow silent, not that much violent. It was moderate. And laterly we can say it also including putting the demand of political rights. Laterly they demanded for us social growth, development of education among the demand, discussion about the administration as well as department of the debt relief, farmers, and revealing of the other truth were also related to the cottage industry were struggled in the questions. And laterly we can say British government turn out with these kinds of demands, and however these demands laid down a strong foundation of the future struggle too. So somehow Britishers accepted our demand. and we means the Indian National Congress 1885 to 1905 was concerned that until unless we are not demanding our need, they are not gonna help us. So this is the condition. We can say the Indian National Congress passed many resolutions, such as expansion of the Legislative Council, and also kept at least 50% elected representative in the central and the regional level who were Indian people. See, in the ancient time, there were very less Indian representative in the British court. But now, after passing this resolution, Indian National Congress kept minimum 50% of the Indian citizens as the, we can say, representative there. So, due to the demand of National Indian Congress or Indian National Congress, the British government granted more and more freedom to the press also, and granted more and more personal liberty to the education of youth also, and now nationalism also emerged maximally. So this is how we can say education, demand and struggle is the only thing which is actually changing the nation. So as a result, many capable and potential leaders joined the organization. Thus we got like lots of leaders. Among them, Subhash Chandra Bose or Netaji was one of the very famous, prominent and a concerned person who always fought for nation. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture, my dear student. This was the part number 1 of the lecture, and the lesson number 3rd, that is nationalism. So we'll see you in the second part of this lecture, where I'll explain you the other remaining pages of this lesson. Till then, you can keep quiet and keep learning and be safe at your home. Take care. See you there in the part 2.